What am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't know what. Oh well, figure it out. I'm tired. Hi. Ow, ow, ow. Meow. Version. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. You're too sweet. I hope you're doing well. Cute. You're cute. I forgot to fix my notifications, but I'll get to it eventually. One day. I appreciate you. I'm glad you're doing well. I am doing okay. I'm just very low energy tonight. But like, okay, well, I'm very tired. But when you're tired, do you ever get like really like these weird peaks of high energy for just a second? Like I find I'm the most weird when I'm in bed getting ready to fall asleep. That's when I'm the most like silly. Hi Maddie-O, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. I love you. How's everybody's week been so far? Still really hot. I am well. I'm doing good. A lavender bunny? I guess I never thought about what color purple I am. Like obviously I'm a purple bunny, but the actual shade I guess is probably lavender. I don't know. I've never color picked Priscilla. It's hard with something that has different like brightnesses and stuff. That's actually an interesting question for color theory. Is if you're trying to figure out the color of an object and there are different parts of it that are dark and bright and stuff, what part are you supposed to pick to get like the color code? Maybe there is no specific science to it, but I don't know. I'm gonna give us another 2 minutes to just chill. I want to take things nice and slow tonight. I don't really feel like rushing. I don't mind if we have to stream this game for a third day. We theoretically might be able to finish it tonight, but I don't know. That's really smart. I never thought about doing that. Yeah, take an average of it. Welcome in, Cybernetic. I hope you're doing well today. Graphic design and web design work. Ah. Graphic design always seemed cool. I did a few web design courses, but they always focused more on the actual coding back end, not really any of the design perspective. So I made one website because we had like a project that was like, make a website. And I made the ugliest website anyone has probably ever seen, about just bunnies and all kinds of random bunny information and stuff. But it worked, and it was organized pretty well, but just the color palette was probably not great. I'm sure there are worse. I'm sure people try to make worse, yeah. Anyway, where were we? Right! Okay, so if you remember, last time we got buried alive, that was a lot of fun, by the gravekeeper. And then this time we met a mermaid, and we have not spoken with her yet. I really like her design. I love how thin and tiny she is. Time to get drowned by a fish girl. Yay! Okay. You round a corner, your feet unsteady in their sensible brown shoes, and then, at long last, you see her. There is a woman sitting upon a rock, out in the ocean. The woman's eyes are closed and her lips are parted, her expression soulful. She is singing. Her hair, which is fair, flutters around her face like a shroud, which adds to her otherworldly aura. Her eyes might be closed, but her lashes are long and luxuriant, like a doll's. Doll. This sounds like a song that would be in Nier. The soft string instrument with the choir? No, not choir. What is it called? That kind of singing. Her lips, meanwhile, which are parted in song, are soft like the freshly plucked petals of a flower. Also, I don't think that any of the music has had an actual singer until now. So it's cool that we get like a singer because we're with a mermaid. Or maybe it has and I just wasn't paying attention. Her face is perfect, as are her proportions. Her neck is tall and slender, like the stem of a flower. As for the lower half of her body, meanwhile, well, it is nothing like anything you have ever seen before. It is here, and here alone, that the woman betrays your narrow human definition of beauty, for her legs are non-existent. Rather than two awkward appendages, this woman has instead this sleek, shimmering tail of a fish. Is she not, then, a human? She cannot be, not with a tail like that. This unusual sight makes you gasp, and quite audibly at that. You do not mean to be rude, but you cannot help yourself. Humans tend to react poorly to things that they do not understand. At least you do not scream. That would be even ruder. Oh my. You meant to observe the mermaid from a distance, but it would appear that your shocked gasp was loud enough to attract her attention. The fish-tailed vision sitting upon the rock is looking at you. Her gaze is so piercing, it feels almost as if she is looking through you. Your heart seems to stop inside your chest as if by some manner of magical spell. You thought the mermaid pretty when you first observed her, sitting on the outcrop of rock, her face turned in profile. Now she is looking at you, however. You can see that you were mistaken. She is not just pretty. She is beautiful. So much so, it is almost unnerving. She looks as though she has stepped out of the pages of a picture book. I don't think she's done any kind of stepping. Hi, Nietzsche. Welcome in. She is simply too perfect to belong to this world. Perhaps she is some kind of vision, a waking dream, a hallucination. But no, she is none of those things. Her tail might be an impossible thing, but its scales look slick and wet regardless, like those of any fish one might find at the market. Those scales are iridescent and bathed beneath the light of the moon. They seem almost aglow. The sight of her rather takes your breath away. You look at the mermaid. She looks back at you. You prepare yourself, expecting some sort of altercation. But the surprise soon fades from the mermaid's face. Her lips, which once were pursed in a frown, now shift upwards. She is smiling. Then she says in a refined sort of voice, My, it really is good to see a human again, particularly a human girl. Hi, Nevi. Happy birthday, Nevi. Happy birthday, birdie. Happy birdie birthday. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I was beginning to fear that your kind had all disappeared, and I would no longer have anybody left to tell me of the world above the waters. My, this is quite the effusive greeting. Hold on, I want to look up effusive. A smooch for Nevi? Okay, come here, Nevi. Mwah. Effusive. Expressing feelings of gratitude, pleasure, or approval in an unrestrained or heartfelt manner. I think we learned that word last time too, actually. Aww. We love Nevi. We want Nevi to be happy. The mermaid's introductory speech is positively brimming with excitement of a sweet, girlish variety. She is rather more amicable than the fine polish of her syllables would make one suggest. You might be a well-bred lady yourself, with an accent to match, but you cannot help but feel overwhelmed. Anxiously, you observe the mermaid and you ask her what she means. What happened? Girls are so hot. You're so right, Nevi. Or, I'm sorry, Maddie. Well, Nevi's hot too. I got my names mixed up. As to that, I am afraid I cannot say. I have been sitting on these rocks and singing for many, many nights, but nobody has come to see me. There have been no lovely humans for me to play with. I wonder what her definition of play with is. I was beginning to wonder whether your kind had disappeared altogether. We all hotties around here. I feared some manner of calamity had occurred while I was slumbering beneath the water's surface, and your kind had been eradicated. You shudder, then reassure the mermaid to the contrary. You do not know about the humans she used to speak with, but you at least have not been eradicated. I don't know if that's true. We might have been eradicated. We might be dead. I'm not sure. You are still here. Despite everything, it is still you. Yes, well, I can see that, the mermaid answers with a light laugh. It really is a relief. My fellow mer people who live beneath the water told me not to worry, but I could not help myself. Oh, Priscilla. Oh, hi, Holy. Gaz. Bark, bark, woof, woof, bark, bark, woof. Bark. Ah, Holy, thank you for the subscription. Thank you. I appreciate you. Puppy bunny, puppy bunny, puppy bunny. How are you all doing? I can't do a good awu. Or maybe I could if I committed, but I'm too scared to commit. Dog to dog communism. I've always been rather fond of you humans. It was rather sobering sitting here night after night, all on my own. A smooch for Niji? Okay. Mwah. More puppy peeps. It gets so lonely here. Yeah, the title drop. It seems like every girl is gonna say that at least once. Well, yeah. That's really cute. I love that little touch like that. I think title drops are one of my favorite aspects of media. And sometimes they're kind of cheesy or like handled sillily. Sillily? Is that silly? But other times they hit really hard, honestly. Now, that is an interesting turn of phrase. It catches inside your head like a burr. Have you heard it before? Lonely? Then you need more smoochies. Okay. Mwah. I grew and picked these for you, gorgeous lady. Aw, thank you, T-tubers. I appreciate them. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. So, dear human, did you say that you are unfamiliar with these parts? How are you? I'm doing well. How are you? I hope everybody's having a lovely Wednesday. Hesitantly, you examine the mermaid. Thoughtlessly, though you might be, at times, you are not so very self-centered that you cannot detect the note of longing in the mermaid's voice. Huggies? Aw, I like huggies. It is evident as she looks at you that she is hoping for a particular answer to her query. This answer, alas, is not one that you can furnish her with. You do not want to lie to her. It is after some hesitation, therefore, that you reaffirm your earlier words, though this time you embellish them. Good news, the puppy mind virus is very contagious. True. Link looks at the camera and goes, wow, this really is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. You tell the mermaid that you are a traveler from a far-off land, one which is very dissimilar to this one. It is not a complete fabrication. You tell her that you have only just arrived by the shore, and you are unfamiliar both with your immediate surroundings and those further afield. If there is a village nearby, then you have never set foot in it. You do not know what this village is like, nor how many inhabitants it boasts. You do not know if a calamity, as the mermaid grimly supposed, has struck this land. But if she fears all the humans within the immediate vicinity have been laying low for some mysterious malady, then she needn't worry overly on that score. You are still alive. Are you not, you wonder, enough to satiate her curiosity with the human realm? Yes, that is true. You are here. I am grateful, naturally, for your company. Although... Wistfully, the mermaid sighs. I was rather hoping you might be able to bring me some news of the nearby village, and of its inhabitants. This makes you wonder. Was there a particular person from this village she was close to? I guess if there was, they were eliminated by a plague. If that's true. So, you were able to work that much out, the mermaid answers with a small smile. You are an intelligent one, aren't you? Your past professors would beg to differ on that score. You were always awful when it came to academics, mathematics in particular. You could never get your head around all the numbers. Your stern, stony-faced math professor used to despair in you. But she is not here. None of them are here. It is just you now, and the mermaid, and she does not need to know about your dismal academic record. Listen, I know I just met you, but I did really bad in high school. I'm sorry. You allow yourself a small smile, touched by her compliment, and tell her that it was nothing more than a lucky guess. For a guess, it was remarkably accurate. You are quite right. I did have a close friend from the nearby village. She was very dear to me. Internally, you congratulate yourself on this piece of detective work. Good work. Good job. Good job. You did a good job. You did a good job. Good girl. How very clever you are. There are many humans in this world. Of that, I know. The human who spoke with me, however, was special. She was my human. Aww. You do not fail to catch the possessive note in the mermaid's voice. And I cherished her dearly. She would come to me on my rock late at night when she was finished with her chores, and we would talk. I asked her a good number of questions about the human realm and about her customs. I fear my endless inquiries might have been rather tedious, but she was always happy to indulge me. She never once scorned me for my ignorance, and neither did she make me feel like a fool. She always made time for me, no matter how many demands she had on her time. She was a farmer's daughter, and she was awfully busy from dawn until dusk, threshing hay and taking the animals out to pasture. She told me of her work, and I marveled at her. Slender though she was, she possessed a truly tremendous amount of strength. I, who have lived in the ocean all my life, cannot contend working as hard as she did, but she bore her burdens without complaining. She was not the prettiest human who has walked the earth, but that mattered not to me. Her conversation was engaging, and I knew, through our continued encounters, that she meant no ill will. You were really crushing hard, huh? I can't blame you, though. She did not even have a single drop of malice in her heart. The wistful manner in which the mermaid speaks of her friend makes you feel, for a few brief moments, a flicker of some ugly primordial emotion. Is it jealousy? It's jealousy, isn't it? Could it be jealousy? I was feeling that too, so I get it. Who doesn't want to have a girl be possessive over them? Who doesn't want to be somebody's human or pet or just somebody's? Hi, Kazik. Priscilla, cute bunny. How are you doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. Pretty princess. Aw. It is painful, isn't it, to hear others wax poetic about those they hold dear, particularly when you yourself have never been regarded in so intimate a manner. Yeah. You have, for many, many years, been woefully alone. But you are not alone now. You are with the mermaid, and she is with you. And though she might prefer to be in the company of an industrious farmhand, the farmhand is not here. Where did she go? Oh, if only I knew. She quite simply disappeared one day, almost as if she had been whisked away by a wicked spirit. That seems like quite the anticlimactic ending for such a close relationship. Did the farmhand not tell her companion beforehand that she might one day disappear? No, she did not. Nothing of the sort happened. It was all very sudden. So you ask, feeling affronted upon the mermaid's behalf, did she not give you any forewarning? Not a single one. And when you ask, did she disappear? I do not know. In truth, time is a strange concept to beings such as myself, particularly as it seems to ebb and flow differently both above and below the surface. You humans have a strange compulsion to pin down and to place labels upon everything. You have names for your seasons and for your months and even for your days of the week. It is all very precise. We merfolk, however, do not bother with such affairs, perhaps because we live for so much longer than you humans do? We have no need to obsessively document our days, not when we have so many of them at our disposal. Interesting. I never thought about how, like, if you lived long enough, you probably wouldn't care that much about a calendar. This curious remark catches your attention. How long, exactly, do mermaids live for? The mermaid does not look much older than you do, but you cannot help but wonder. The main character is immediately just thinking, like, is she old enough to be a mom? Is she a MILF? Mommy? My, nosy, aren't we? The mermaid asks, and she laughs. A soft, tinkling sound like that of a bell, which makes you blush. Were you being nosy? Perhaps you were. You have always had a thirst for knowledge, not of the dry, dusty academic variety, but of stories peopled with strange persons. I've never heard the word peopled as like a verb, I guess, or an adjective. If something is peopled, I guess it's full of information about people. Interesting. Literature was the only subject you were ever any good at. Again, it is hard for me to quantify, but to put it in terms a human like you can understand, I suppose we mermaids can live for centuries. Oh my gosh. Centuries? That is quite the surprise. But perhaps it shouldn't be. You have been subjected to any number of surprises tonight. What is one more to add to the pile? I have not been waiting quite that long, however, for my friend to return to me. I think it has been but a few seasons. It might not sound like much, but never before have I ever been so aware of the passage of time. Aww. Just counting down the minutes and days. Constantly thinking about the human she misses. I have experienced any number of wants during my life, but I have never wanted anything quite as badly as I want to see her. I wish she would sit with me and she would talk to me just one more time. But perhaps I am asking for an impossibility. I have been waiting for long enough now to presume that she will not be returning to me. I fear that something must have happened to her, or to her family, or perhaps to her whole village. You can hear the worry throbbing in the mermaid's voice, so potent that, for a few moments, you swear you could feel the depths of her sorrow within your own breast. Her sadness over this human girl is a deep, dark thing, almost fathomless. You cannot let yourself indulge in it for too long. Otherwise, you fear you might drown in it. That sounds like foreshadowing. Sounds like foreshadowing if I've ever heard foreshadowing. Ruefully, you tell the mermaid once more that you cannot help her. You are only a traveler, after all. It would be pretty funny if all the routes led to bad endings. Yeah, I'm curious. Visual novels are interesting because going into it, I never know what it's going to be like. Because it's like a big aspect of visual novels that they have hidden content that you can't access until you complete other content. That's like such a common trope in visual novels that you never know what you're gonna get. And it's very interesting. Like with a book, if you pick up a book, you can see how big the book is. You know, you can look at it and see, oh, this is gonna be hard to read, or oh, this is gonna be a quick read. But then with a visual novel, it's like, who knows? What do you know of a single insignificant farmhand in a nearby village? Yes, I thought you might say that. It is quite unfortunate, but, well, I ought not to reflect upon all that I am missing. That would be churlish of me. Wait, is that a real word? Churlish? No, Microsoft, I don't want to do a survey for you. I had no idea this was a real word. The only example of this word I've ever heard used is in a Key and Peele skit. Choppy, thank you for the raid. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. What were you streaming? The only time I've ever heard this word used is during a Key and Peele skit, and the whole joke is that the person is like mispronouncing names. So I always assumed it was a mispronunciation of the word childish as like churlish. But I had no idea it was its own word. That's very interesting. And it would not be fair to you either. You did not approach me, I am sure, with the hope of hearing about all of my woes. I should be grateful, instead, for all it is that I do have. I still have my long, long life, which stretches before me like a golden cord, and of course, I have you now. Aw, does she? Do I not? I ought to go soon, before my absence is noticed, but will you not come and visit me again tomorrow night? I think I would like that. I have always enjoyed speaking to humans. You make me feel less alone. You cannot help but feel, as the mermaid observes you with those enchanting eyes of hers, that she does not truly wish to speak to you for your sake. She wants to use you, instead, as a substitute for the farmhand that she's been missing so very ardently. The thought stings, though you really ought to be used to it. Still, to be held in lower esteem than a farmhand of all things, it makes your self-esteem sting. You try not to let the mermaid notice this, though. The woes of your past are not her fault, much as the woes of her past are not yours. It is silly, in any case, to be jealous of a girl who might very well be dead. That is what you tell yourself. It is the only way to prop up your bruised sense of self-worth. You tell the mermaid after a pause, like to see her again. You would like that very much. Oh, thank you. I have been feeling very gloomy for quite some time, but seeing you has invigorated me. Finally, it feels as though I can smile again. Did she not smile, you wonder, after her friend disappeared? I did not. No. I did not have the heart. Without her, the world seems so very dull and drab. Your company has cheered me immensely. Aw. I can't wait for things to fall apart, but they seem pretty wholesome right now. Churl, and by extension churlish, originates from classism. A churl was a free man in Old English. I see, interesting. Villain? Which was just like a farmer? That's so interesting. I had no idea. From Villian, which is still an archaic but real word. Huh. That's so cool. What is the study of words called? Entomology? Oh, etymology. I think entomology is bugs. I really like etymology. It's cool to learn where words came from. I especially when I'm looking up Japanese words, I like to learn like their origins. And it's cool to see like, oh, this word is with this kanji, but this kanji originally used to be this very simple picture, and over time it just kind of changed and changed. There's this YouTuber whose name I can't remember, but he does all kinds of shorts on language, and he points out all sorts of like in this language, the letters are all very straight and like, you know, angular, and that might be because they used to draw on clay tablets, and it was easier with a clay tablet to like do like straight lines without curves. Or in this language, the language is very curvy, and that's because they used to originally write on leaves, and leaves like they rip if you go on a straight line, so it's much easier to like curve your letters, and that's how that came to be. It's very cool. Is that a cute bunny? Ressie, I love you. And Steph, I love you too. Etymology versus entomology. That was a bit in Phineas and Ferb. Also, I want to say the person you're thinking of is XKCD. Let me look them up. XKCD. Language. This doesn't, I don't think it's this, but I love the Japanese quirk of like in RPGs, for some reason, flame effects being a stronger version of fire, is that flame is just two fire characters stacked on top of each other. Yeah, it's funny because it's not a good thing, but it is very interesting to learn. A lot of both Japanese and Chinese language originates, like a lot of its history is very misogynistic. And so because of that, a lot of the language is geared very much towards men, and women are always like the exception. There's one with Chinese specifically where the kanji for loud is the kanji for women, but like 3 times over. Nina, hi, it's so good to see you. Welcome in, support bunny. How's it hopping? It's going very well. How are you? But yeah, the kanji for loud is literally just the kanji for women, but 3 times. Yeah, learning about language is fun. Three women, worst girls. Bad audio mixing. Fun fact, that's actually one of the advantages Hangul had during its inception. Oh, really? What do you mean? I do be a loud woman. I'm not helping, am I? Created by committee under King Sejong the Great, it was supposed to be easy to learn to boost Korea's literacy. Oh, interesting. Right, that makes sense. A lot of people talk about how easy Korean is. I've heard, and I don't think this is true, but I've heard that Japanese was originally intended to be difficult to prevent poor people from learning it. But I don't know if that's true. That's probably not just a rumor I heard, but a lot of women learned it and climbed in court, and the male dominant Confucian priests hated it. Oh, that's so interesting. Big stretch. I love hearing people get very excited about explaining something. It's really, really cool to see. Especially a version is really cute when she does it. I'm head empty kitty, so I don't have nice facts, but I love you. I love you too. You're a good kitty, no matter what's in your head. It's okay, I'm head empty, bunny. This is why I like humans so much. You are not callous and unfeeling like the merfolk who live beneath the water's surface. You are much kinder than they are. Oh, if only she knew. If the mermaid was aware, I wonder, of how petty you are and how jealous, would she still care of you? I'm Bunny. Hi, Nina. You're Bunny. You're cute Bunny. Cute baby Bunny. Well, that is neither here nor there. Oh, are we going back to the little cabin? You agree to meet with the mermaid come sundown the following night. Then make your slow, stumbling way back up the cliffs, then to the cottage you have purloined as your own. Once indoors, you settle down upon your pallet and then you close your eyes. The sighing of the wind outside and the distant roiling? What's roiling? Make a liquid turbid or muddy by disturbing the sediment. Huh. Interesting. The distant roiling of the waves against the rocks do not disturb you. You feel, after your midnight encounter of the marish kind, quite at ease. Perhaps prematurely so. Well, at least she knows it's premature. What happened to that icy fear which prompted your frantic flight through the forest? Where has all that gone? Do you not think you're being a bit complacent? No? Oh well. You will. Okay, narrator, gosh. The narrator just calling us out. You will regret this. The following morning, when it arrives, it is cloudy and overcast. It is not a particularly pleasant morning, but at least it is not raining. That is some small consolation. Yeah, I've always heard it called a rolling boil, never a roiling boil, but that does make sense. I guess that's just kind of like the origin of that, probably. RGB Passy. You rise from your straw pallet, stretching, then glance about the interior of the fisherman's cottage. Seething also used to refer to just literally boiling, but it's never used that way anymore. I did not know that. That's really cool. Asphyxia, is that another one of Ebi-Hime's games? This is my first Ebi-Hime game, but I'm absolutely in love and definitely want to check out others. It looked dilapidated last night when much of it was obscured by the shadows, but it looks even more so when subjected to morning light. The cottage interior has the distinct, disquieting appearance of having been abandoned in a hurry. There is broken pottery strewn upon the ground, and the singular wooden chair, which once must have stood by the singular wooden table, is lying on the floor. The doors of the cupboards, meanwhile, are ajar, the shelves within depressingly bare. A quick search reveals a handful of edibles, but there is precious little to be getting on with. Yo, edibles. I don't think they're that kind of edible, though. If you wish to live here comfortably, you will have to look into foraging. You ate very little last night, and your stomach is empty. It was the malcontented rumblings of your stomach, in actual fact, which roused you from your slumber. Yeah, I guess with the gravedigger girl, we like had food. We were like feeding ourselves and feeding her, and we were a good housewife. But your body seems to be very far away indeed, much like the gray clouds which choke the sky. Easy solution, eat the mermaid. You are not thinking of your own physical discomforts. You are dwelling, instead, upon the events of the night prior. You cannot help but think of the mermaid. Did you truly meet an aquatic maiden last night during your nightly stroll when you could not sleep? It sounds unreal, especially now that the sun has risen and the shadows from the night prior have disappeared. A salmon of wisdom, a salmonimal. A smart salmonimal. You cannot quite believe it. It must have been a dream. But why, then, can you recall it so very clearly? You help yourself to the scant food and drink available to you, all the while thinking of your next course of action. Now, what are you to do? You plan, of course, to return to the shore come nightfall, so that you might once again see the mermaid. But the night will not arrive for quite some time. You need to find some means of keeping yourself occupied until then. That's a good point. The uninspiring interior of the cottage does not furnish you with any particular ideas, so you decide to go for a walk. Oops. Your soul still ache after your exertions last night, but if you go slowly, you ought to be all right. This is what you hope, at least. You do not want to spend much longer than you have to in the fisherman's cottage, no matter how cold it might be outdoors. It's almost as cold inside as it is out, and in any case, the cottage is far too small. You leave the cottage behind you and set off. You do not know where, exactly, you are going, but you suppose it does not matter overly much. You do not have any particular destination in mind. Your meanderings lead you to the cliffs, which are steep and sharp. The drop to the shore is a perilous one. Gotta love cannibalism. And so much so that you have to wonder how you were able to descend the cliffs the night prior to meet the mermaid. You are rather more determined than you have ever realized. Though I, of course, could have told you that much. You are surprisingly capricious for such a small, slender human. You walk along the side of the cliffs, keeping a sensible distance away from the drop to the shore. You might have survived last night's excitement unscathed, but you do not fancy trying your luck. It would be so like you, really, to avoid a drop to your death in the darkness, only to stumble during the morning's light and take an irreversible tumble. Your fortunes have never been the fairest. Flowers. Your meanderings along the cliff reveal to you a manner of curious flora. You thought the night prior that the cliffs were weather blasted, but you can now see that your assumptions were incorrect. There are flowers here, very warm and bright, like the sun's light during the summertime. Or, you think, with a flush of pleasure, the fair hair of the maiden whom you are certain you spoke to last night. These flowers are so very like her hair that it is uncanny. You step towards the flowers, drawn towards them, and sink down to your knees. The tall grass brushes your ankles like a caress, the morning's dew wetting your skirt. Your clothes are getting damp, as are your legs, but you care not for this minor discomfort. You have just had an idea. Are we gonna make her a flower crown? Why not make a gift for your new friend? Cute! I've always wanted to do this. It always seemed so, like, heartfelt and romantic. You are sure that she would appreciate it. Why would she not? She told you, in a voice which was steeped with dolor, that she had been feeling lonely. That is a very cute gesture. One of the cutest things anyone ever did for me, and I'm really sad that I lost this because of the fire, but I had a coworker who we were like close, but like, I don't know, she was just really, really sweet. Like, do you ever have somebody in your life who's way too sweet to you and you know you don't deserve it? But she literally painted me a Hello Kitty painting with Priscilla's colors. I think I have a picture of it somewhere. But that was so sweet to me and made me so happy. And I'm so sad I lost that gift. Oh. You're too sweet. I don't know. I can recognize that I'm being too hard on myself, and yet I cannot stop it. Unfortunately, this is the way that my mental health works. False, I am bitter and correct. You are sweet and nice and funny, and I'll give you correct. You're very, very correct about most things. So some people say. You want to see her again. And when you next see her, you would like to make her smile. Aww. It is with this thought in mind that you begin to pick the flowers which are growing upon the cliffside. These flowers do not have any thorns, and their delicate stems snap easily between your fingers. You take care when plucking these flowers to leave a substantial amount of stem intact. You will need these stems so that you might twine the flowers together. Yeah, brains are dumb. That's why I'm gonna have mine surgically removed. That's gonna be my top surgery. You mean to make for the mermaid a diadem? Diadem? What's that? Diadem. A type of crown, specifically an ornamental headband worn by monarchs and others as a badge of royalty. Oh, okay. Trepidation to get the evil spirits out. Oh, right. Thank you, Nina. Good idea. Oh, thank you for the head pats. I'm gonna head pat you back though. This sounds like a bedtime story more than a game I could probably fall asleep listening to. I guess a lot of bedtime stories do end in some kind of horror, right? I don't know if that's how they were originally, but aren't there a lot of bedtime stories that just straight up end with like the kids dying or something? Something she will be able to wear in her hair. Oh, they literally explain it right there. Brothers Grimm kind of stories. Yeah. This tiara is certain to suit her. She is so pretty. Anything would suit her. You continue to work, slow and steadfast, as the weak sun shines. It takes time, but you are eventually able to fashion something you are satisfied with. You only hope the mermaid will feel similar. If indeed she really does exist. Carefully, you pocket your makeshift diadem, then decide to forage for some food. You discover during your search some fruit trees whose sweet burdens are enough to fortify your spirits. For the present, at least. It is fortunate, really, that you are so excited about your moonlight rendezvous with the mermaid. If you were less focused upon the future and dwelt more in the immediate present, you might have more of an appetite. When you're thinking about girls so much, you don't even have time to eat. The emptiness in your stomach assuaged, you return to the cottage, where you mean to wait for the setting of the sun. There is very little to do, you soon discover, in the cottage other than checking the cupboards and sweeping the floor. Occupations which both feel depressingly pointless. There are no books to read either, with which you might pass your idle hours. You do, however, busy yourself with trying to light a fire so that you might ward off the cold. The time is horribly slow in passing, in part because you have precious little to do, but also because you cannot stop thinking of the mermaid. I love our protagonist. She's so Yuri-brained. Will she really return to the shore as she said she would? Can you truly trust her? Oh, you hope that you can. If she were not present at your designated meeting place, you think you would die from disappointment. I mean, you're gonna die, but not from disappointment. The seconds continue to trickle by, unchecked by any hourglass, and as they do, the sun sinks beneath the horizon. Part of you worries, however, that it might still be too early to search for the mermaid. Will she be there yet? Maybe she'll be singing. You sit there, your stomach tied up in anxious knots, and as you listen to the wind which buffets your windows, you hear it. The sound is faint, but you recall it well from the night before. There is a single, solitary voice outdoors, tempest-tossed amidst the roiling waves. The voice is high, clear, is a high, clear one, silvery, if indeed voices can have colors, like a finely polished dinner plate in a noble woman's home. According to synesthesia, voices do have colors, I think. It depends on the person. The voice belongs, of course, to the mermaid. Who else do you know with a voice as angelic as that? Relief begins to bubble up inside you, a relief so potent that you feel dizzy from it. Synesthesia manifests in a lot of different ways for different people. Interesting. She did not abandon you after all. Why, you wonder, did you ever think she would? She said that she wanted to see you. Did you think that that was a mere nicety? Bioid? Bioid? What's bioid? Oh, buoyed. Is that how it's pronounced? Bunnied? To keep afloat, okay. Buoyed. Oh, okay, I see. Buoyed, as if by a gentle breeze, you hurry to the door. With trembling fingers, they are trembling, I presume, from excitement rather than fear. I like how the narrator's like, I presume. I mean, I guess. I don't know you. You seize the handle, then turn it. Then you step out into the dark, inky night. You walk towards the cliffs as you did the night prior, beneath the cover of the inky blue sky, the wind moaning fitfully with every step you take. Both pronunciations are valid? Ah, okay. Your soul still ache from your expedition the day prior, but you are able to ignore this discomfort. It seems irrelevant, really, when compared to the prospect of, once again, meeting the mermaid. You have known her for only one night, yet she has come to mean more to you than your own well-being. Wow. You would do anything for the mermaid if she asked it. I mean, yeah. Well, almost anything. You hurry down the sharp incline of the cliffs to the shore, almost stumbling in your scuffed brown shoes, which really were not built with rock climbing in mind. So frantic are you in your attempt to once again make the mermaid's acquaintance, you very nearly fall. It is a good thing that you still have enough sense about you to regain your footing. Otherwise, this tale would come to a premature ending. Eventually, you make your way onto the shore, then approach the jagged outcrop of rock where you last saw the mermaid. Like the night prior, the mermaid is perched upon those rocks, her fair hair strewn about her shoulders. When she sees you from across the shore, she ceases her singing and her eyes light up. Or at least they seem to. In mermaid mythology, don't they typically have mind control powers or some kind of hypnotism to them? Or maybe it's the singing that does it. Ah, okay. I will kill on this hill? Okay, I am stealing that. I will kill on this hill is so much better than I will die on this hill. So, you have returned to me, my hero. I'm your hero, the mermaid says, and then lightly she giggles. Or perhaps I should say heroine? Her praise makes you blush. You do not feel worthy of it. I will drown you in this pool would be more fitting. Yeah, very fitting. Nobody has ever called you a heroine before. You do not even think of yourself as a heroine. If a story were made about you, you rather think you would be a supporting character, one without her own voice. You are not interesting enough. The mermaid seems to think that you are, though. She is staring at you delightedly, as though you are the one person in the world she most wishes to speak with. The thought makes you tremble, but not as much as the mermaid's gaze. You tell the mermaid that you do not think you are so very brave, but she dismisses your awkward remark with a laugh. I think you are. I saw the way you scaled those cliffs. I thought that was very heroic. Oh, so she saw that, did she? Then, did she see how you slipped down the cliffs, grazing your palms in the process, and how you very nearly fell? Depictions of sirens as fish-like also date from the classical period in Greece, though probably the bird depictions predate that. Interesting. You have never been the most graceful of girls, but to have your failings exposed before a being as poised and as perfect as a mermaid, it stings a little bit. More, in fact, than the resultant grazes on your palms. Your clumsiness rot you. You tell the mermaid that there was nothing so very heroic about all that. You were simply excited, that is all, to see her again. You weren't thinking. Well, that makes two of us. I was excited to see you again. Aww. She was? Naturally. I had a very good time speaking with you last night. I had hoped that we might resume our correspondence. Thank you, Nina, for the head pats. That is why I came to the rocks a bit earlier than usual. I was waiting for you. Aw. Did you hear my song? Yes, you reply with a nod of your head. You heard it, all the way in your abandoned cottage. It called out to you. That was the general idea. I was singing for you. Okay, that is really romantic. The idea of a girl singing for you is a really cute concept. She was. You do not think that you are worthy of the mermaid's song, but if she does not mind dedicating her voice to you, then... Well, who else would I dedicate my voice to? There is nobody else to hear me. That is a good point, you suppose. Shyly, you look back at the mermaid. You thank her for her song. It was very beautiful. Then tell her before you can lose your nerve that you have prepared a present for her too. Oh? Have you really? You have. It is a small thing, nothing more than a silly trinket, but if it would not be too much of an imposition, then... With clumsy fingers, you reach into your pocket. For a few moments, you fret your near fall down the cliff might have damaged the delicate chain nestled within it, but your worries are in vain. The chain is surprisingly sturdy, given it was made with only a few flowers, and it has held firm against the odds. You handle the chain with great care all the same, however, as you hold it out, presenting it for the mermaid's approbation. It was for the mermaid that you fashioned this chain. You thought that it would look nice nestled in her hair. You were pleased with the chain when you first made it, but after looking at the mermaid, you have begun to reconsider. The mermaid's beauty is otherworldly. So much so, it almost hurts to look at her. Your flower crown, by comparison, seems a very meager offering indeed. Normal tea for tea anxiety. Yeah. The longer you hold your gift out, the more unworthy it feels. You have half a mind, as the second elapses, to snatch your silly, wholly unworthy gift back from the mermaid before she can judge you too harshly. But the mermaid's lips curve upward into a smile, and, in a voice so full of gratitude it makes your heart throb, she says, "Oh my, did you make this for me?" "Well, yes," you reply, still feeling a little flustered. "You saw these flowers earlier when you went for a walk, and they made you think of her." Oh gosh, this is melting my heart. Not, you hasten to add, that you think her beauty is comparable to these flowers. They are far inferior when contrasted with her good looks. You simply thought... You are unable to get the rest of this sentence out. However, because the mermaid interrupts you, not rudely, but with something resembling compassion. Perhaps she pities you. She must be able to hear your voice, how your voice is trembling. Can she also see the way your hands tremor? Oh dear. Faint heart never won the hands of a fair maiden, you know. What happened to all of your confidence? I think that your gift is a wonderful one. I did not at all expect it, but it really is pretty. You look at your feet too shyly to meet the mermaid's gaze. Aww. Then you say, very quietly, that you are glad she thinks so, but She does not need to spare your ego. You have precious little of it left as is. The mermaid seems touched by your shyness. Perhaps she likes her prey to be self-conscious because she smiles. I would like to meet the mermaid. I would like to be the mermaid's prey. You have such a nice voice. Aw, I'm glad. I'm glad you think so. I feel like my voice kind of sucks today. Because, I don't know. I feel like it's not very clear, or like I'm not very good at talking right now, but I'm glad you think so. I am not simply saying things to spare your ego. I am not like that. Humans might spout platitudes as easily as they breathe air, but I do not compliment others unless I truly mean it. Wait, I missed a word. I would like to meet the mermaid gaze. Oh, like turn them into meat? Oh, you're all too sweet. I'm glad you think so. I hope I'm getting better. I do want to improve with these streams. I think what I really want is stability in my voice, because there are times during stream where I like it a lot, but it's really hard for me to hold it there, or like, I don't know. It's hard to find it, it's hard to hold it, but there are times where it hits a point that I'm very happy with. Now I don't know if I missed hearing Scylla say gaze the first time. I don't remember either. Bedtime stories. You get better every day. Aw, thank you. I'm glad you all think so. I love you all. Thank you for being here with me. Oh. Is that not the point of speech? To have an honest dialogue with one another? If one party in a conversation is withholding their true intentions, then conversation is impossible. Playing games is a waste of my time, particularly given my time above the surface is so very limited. Oh. You blush at this, more deeply still, and survey the mermaid beneath the full fringe of your eyelashes. Then, she really does like it? Did I not just say that? You humans are so very funny. What with all your second guessing? She was like that too, in the beginning. She? My friend. The mermaid's answer is a simple one, but it makes your stomach clench regardless. Ah, yes. Her friend. How could you have forgotten about her? She used to make me gifts too, you know, gifts like this one. She would pick flowers on the cliff over there where I could not tread. The mermaid gestures with one hand to the cliffs, which tower above the shore, tall and imposing, as though to stab the sky above. I almost wonder if the little cabin up there is the girls. I had a friend, but then one day I got really hungry. And she would fashion them into crowns like this one, and bracelets. I was appreciative of her tokens, though she was very similarly shy when she first presented them to me. She did not seem to think much of her handiwork. You and her are remarkably similar, really. There is no guile in the mermaid's voice, but her words have rather taken the wind out of your sails. Of course, the cowherd gave the mermaid gifts. Why would she not? The mermaid is beautiful. She is so very beautiful, like the tutelary goddess? Hold on, I need to look this up. Tutelary. A protector, guardian, or patron. Tut as in tutor. Oh, tutorary? Tutelary? It's really cute how often you two say the same thing. She seems to invite tribute simply by existing. Apparently we are both same kind of word nerd. Well, I like it. I like both of you. You're both very fun to have around. As Polonius once said, great minds think alike, but fools rarely differ. We must both be one of those. Were you more religious, or maybe irreligious? You might even consider worshipping her. Though, in essence, it is not what you were doing with your flower crown. Oh, is that not what you were doing with your flower crown? I would worship a girl. How silly of you to think that your idea was an original one. I might be accustomed to gifts, but it has been a long time since any human has bequeathed me with anything. This is a pleasant surprise. I am truly thankful for your kindness, dear one. Oh, dear one. Nina, thank you for Prime. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you. I am entirely unsurprised that you would worship a girl. I was talking with a friend I made recently today, and she was talking about Stardew Valley. Well, okay, we talked about a lot of things, but it all started with a conversation about Stardew Valley, where she was like, who do you usually marry in Stardew Valley? Abigail, best girl. True, goth girls are good. My answer was Haley. And she just looked at me and she was like, Haley? Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. And she sent me a meme of... she sent me a meme of an anime girl, like, blushing with the text that just says, please insult me more. The real her? Okay, adding it to the list right now. Kanto no Kanojo. Okay, yeah. Okay. That sounds that sounds like something I might enjoy. Maybe, possibly. Thank you for the recommendation. If you have any others, let me know. I was actually giving Aversion some of my Yuri recommendations the other day. And I simultaneously feel like I've read a lot of Yuri and also like I haven't even scratched the surface. Like it's such a deep well of Yuri. But the stuff I'm looking for is so very specific that it's hard to find sometimes. The mermaid leans forward on her rock, so as to pluck the circlet from your fingers. Her benevolent smile, all the while, is unwavering. And now that I look at your gift more closely, I rather think it is of a superior quality to the gifts my old friend once gave me. Now, this is enough to make you start, if the touch of the mermaid's fingers upon your own was not. Could your silly gift really be better than those she once accepted? I think so. My friend's trinkets were all rather clumsy in execution, though I cherished them nonetheless. They were very precious to me. They did not last for very long, though, not when I took them with me to my home beneath the ocean. The waters soon rend the fragile links between the flower stems asunder. Your diadem, however, seems more sturdy, but it is, by the same token, very delicate. You must be very good with your with your hands. What a lesbian compliment. Lesbian bassist moment. I don't know how people play the bass. It's like, honestly, even the guitar, it's really hard for me to hold the strings down with my fingers. Like, it hurts a lot. I do want to get back into guitar, but I suck at it. Playing the bass is not something I'm particularly interested in, but it is fun to do sometimes. You think back briefly on your disastrous sewing lesson in the past, of your numerous failed attempts to thread your needle while the other girls giggled at you, and you blush. Noella! And Toxic Yuri, my favorite! My two favorite things in the whole world. Noella, I missed you. How was your day? Are you home? Are you safe and comfy and warm? I love you. Buenísis. I heard the winter storm is going to be pretty rough tonight, so I'm a bit worried about work tomorrow, but hopefully it'll be okay. Yeah, my day was good. I just kind of read a bunch of manga, and then I guess I did my job, I suppose. But you know. I did the bare minimum. I did as much as I get paid to do. Yuri at work on the boss's dime. Yeah, I wish I took better care of my car before the snow started, because at this point it's going to be really hard to do a lot of those like car maintenance-y thingies with like how cold it's going to be. Oh well, hopefully it'll be fine. You think the mermaid's praise might be a touch too effusive. You tell the mermaid as much, but she only laughs. I do not think so. Now. The mermaid places your floral trinket upon her head, over her long, fair hair, then surveys you in a manner which seems almost coquettish. Coquettish. That... Behaving in a way to suggest a playful sexual attraction. Wait a minute. What's that one game? Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, Coquette Dragoon! I want to play that game! I can never remember the name of it though. Sorry, I got too excited there. But that game, I've seen a bit of it and it seems so... It seemed like it was meant for me. Okay. For some reason, I did not have it on my list of games to play. So I'm glad I added it. What do you think? Oh, I love her image change now. Yeah, that is totally understandable. I'm debating on whether I want to stream it because I really want to play it. But, I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to stream it or experience it by myself. I wonder. I'll have to think on that more. There's so many games though on a stream that it's really hard to pick. But still, I'm glad I picked It Gets Lonely here. I really like this one. What do you think? You think that the mermaid looks radiant, though it is less because of your gift and more because of her natural looks. You tell the mermaid this, though not in terms quite this glowing, and she giggles. You're selling yourself too short. I think your gift is lovely. Really, the flowers rather match my hair. Yes, you answer with a nod of your head. That is why you picked those flowers. She is all you have been able to think of. Yeah, girls. I am glad that you've been thinking of me. I, in truth, have been thinking of you, though I did not wish to say as much. No. No, it would be embarrassing to confess how much I've been looking forward to our reunion if you did not feel similarly. I do not care to pine for humans from afar, but if you care for me as I do you, then it makes me feel less alone. You hasten to assure the mermaid, your face aflame. Do you ever stop blushing? Goodness gracious. I love the way that the narrator calls us out. The girls are really normal. The thing that I saw about that game that that made me instantly want to play it is there was like a screenshot of one of the characters with a binky in it. It must be talking to me because I literally do blush, and I blush very, very hard too. Like, I'm not even exaggerating here. My face gets incredibly red at the smallest thing. Like the tiniest little embarrassment or like, I don't know. I'm a very blushy bun. I can't help it. Yeah, absolutely no problematic kinks at all. No problematic things here. Oh, Nina, you're so sweet. That you do care for her, very much so. You have not known her for very long, but she has certainly made an impression upon you. She is such an easy conversationalist. The time simply slips by when you are together. And it does not hurt, of course, that she is so pretty. I support all perverts. Same. I have heard it said, yes, that my looks are rather appealing. My old friend was similarly complimentary. I'm very interested to see how much age play stuff is in that game. For totally you know what? I'm not even gonna try to defend myself here. I know what I'm about. Literary analysis purposes? Is that what the girls are calling it these days? Ah, this toxic Yuri, yes, for literally. Why can't I say that word? Literary? Ah, Venus, hi. Bark, bark, woof, woof. Bark, bark. Bark. Arf. Ow. Literary. I'm gonna have a litter. Hi Venus, how are you doing? We're talking about degenerate things. Because, I every single stream I have devolves into that at some point. I have heard it said, yes, that my looks are rather appealing. My old friend was similarly complimentary. I cannot blame you humans for being so taken with me when my form is so very graceful. Your legs seem rather cumbersome in comparison to my smooth, sleek tail. I want a tail. I want a bunny tail. It must be so very depressing to lumber about on foot or on land as you do, living your days beneath the harsh sun and cool, unfeeling moon. Sometimes, I rather think I pity you. But the surface is a good deal brighter than it is beneath the ocean. I will grant you that much. The moon has all kinds of feelings. You take that back. Yeah, that was Sokka's first girlfriend. You agree with the mermaid, still feeling flushed, that there are some perks to having legs, an agreement which makes the mermaid giggle. In the name of the moon, go fluff yourself. Rabbit and steel moment. I am certain that there are, though you cannot explore the ocean's depths as I can. I presume you have never tried it. You shake your head. No. You've had the thought to do so, largely because you have never been so close to the sea before, not in all of your life. You do not have much opportunity for nautical exploration in the past. You were not allowed to go anywhere then, save to the local church. True. You could leg lock them, or you could like squeeze somebody's neck in between your thighs. That's always fun to do. I like having legs because I can thump like a bunny. When I'm angry, I thump. It was quite a lonely existence. Well now, that is a pity. You were kind enough to give me a gift, fashioned from flowers which grew where I could not reach them. So perhaps I ought to return the favor. A favor? Yes, that is right. It would seem only fitting that I give to you something which can only be found in the ocean's depths. Perhaps we could look at it as a form of cultural exchange. Oh no, you protest, your eyes wide. You couldn't possibly put such a burden upon her. You did not give her a gift after all, because you wanted to receive anything in return. Anything other than her friendship, that is. Her conversation is far more than enough to satisfy you. You do not need any physical presence on top of that. The mermaid does not seem convinced, however, by your naysaying. She raises one eyebrow, even this gesture is performed elegantly, then says, "If my company is all it takes to satisfy you, then you are easy to please indeed. But please, do not rebuff me. I am offering because I wish to do this. Remember what I said. I do not say things for the sake of it." Well, you murmur, if she really doesn't mind. Aw, I love snuggles. I don't know if I'm comfy. Of course I do not mind. Now, wait there. I will not be very long. You sound comfy. Aw. It would be rude to abandon my new friend in the midst of a conversation. The mermaid turns her attention towards the clear, mirror-like water, which shimmers beneath the moonlight. Then she dives. Her body arches elegantly through the air, her long, slender limbs cleaving through the surface of the water with nary a ripple. The mermaid's face is first submerged, then her torso, and, at long last, her tail. The water rushes forth to envelop her, as though it has been waiting for her. It subsumes her. It swallows her. Then, she disappears from view. That does sound nice. The mermaid is gone, but you are still there. Well, now what are you to do? There is nothing that can be done, you suppose, save waiting. You stand there for several moments, watching the black water lap against the shore. The breeze howls mournfully, like a wounded animal, as it buffets your hair about your face and your torn skirt around your legs. Time elapses, but how much of it? While you stood there, fretfully, feeling as ostentatious as a maypole. What's a maypole? Like maple. A maypole is a tall wooden pole erected as part of various European folk festivals. Huh. Interesting. You dance around it? I see. With ribbons. Okay. A character in Rivals of Aether 2. You're not wrong. When will the mermaid return? Will she ever return? You are starting to worry. Is that all you do? When? Look, over there, by the rocks, which the mermaid once sat at, the water is rippling. Old pagan spring traditions. I see. It looks as though your new friend has returned. The mermaid pulls herself onto the rocks using a surprising amount of upper body strength, then smiles at you. I apologize for the wait. I hope I did not make you worry. You were worrying, but you're not half as honest as the mermaid. Mermaids might be spoken of as devious tricksters who lure sailors to their deaths, but they are, in actuality, very sincere. I mean, strong women are really good. Typo in the final release. That's how you know it's authentic. This is real, Yuri. Not unfiltered. Not through any kind of corporate censors. They are much more sincere than most humans. Perhaps that is why your kind fears them so much. There are few creatures who inhabit the world whose capacity for lying is greater than your own. You tell the mermaid that you are not worrying, and she answers with a wry smile. I am not so sure about that. The mermaid is wilier than you are giving her credit for. She has seen straight through you. But no matter, it took me some time, but I was finally able to retrieve for you a gift. I do not have the means to turn this into a pretty piece of jewelry, as you did with the flowers, but I wish to give it to you nonetheless. I do hope that you like it. The mermaid leans forward, then holds her gift out towards you. Her slender fingers unfurl about it like the petals of a flower being folded back, and... Oh, what a pretty gift it is. The ocean might be dark and deep, cold and unfeeling, but the same cannot be said for the object which glitters upon the mermaid's palm. She has finished, from the depths of the water, a beautiful shell, fished, one which shimmers prismatic colors beneath the moon's light, much like the scales on her tail. The shell is so very pretty, it quite takes your breath away. You look at the shell worriedly, your teeth biting your lower lip. That is a bad habit, you know. You'll make yourself bleed. Yes, I know it's a bad habit, but I can't stop it, and I make myself bleed all the time. Then ask the mermaid if this is really all right. Would a gift like this not be wasted on you? Of course not. I want you to have this shell because it makes me think of you. It does. How so? I thought it should be obvious. The shell is a lovely find. As you are. Oh, did she just call you lovely? Surely you must have misheard her. You can scarcely believe it. It is an awful lot for you to take in, but... Now, why are you gawping at me like that? The wind will change, you know, and then your face will be stuck like that, which would be quite the shame. You would waste your good looks, which for a maiden such as yourself would be nothing short of a tragedy. Okay, that does sound really good. It seems as though the mermaid really does think you are pretty after all. The mermaid with her smooth skin and her fair, fair hair. You can scarcely believe it. There's something almost laughable about the mermaid's compliments. How could she call you pretty when her looks are so immediately, obviously superior? Tongue-tied, you look at your feet. You do not know how to reply to the mermaid. You have half a mind to refute her words, to tell her that you are not that pretty, not really, but you fear that might look rude. You do not want to rebuff the mermaid's well wishes. There is nothing for it then but to take the shell which the mermaid retrieved from the ocean depths for you. You do not think that you are worthy of it, but neither do you want to refuse it. Now, that is a surprise, the mermaid says, amused, as you reach for the shell. I did not think you would be bold enough to take it, not without more coaxing on my part. You have exceeded my expectations. What a good girl you are. Your heart flutters with this praise, and it flutters all the more when your trembling fingers brush against the mermaid's palm. She presses the shell into your skin, and your own fingers tighten about it. The shell is sharp and pointed, and it digs uncomfortably into your skin. It hurts, but there is pleasure in the pain. Uh-huh. Wait a moment. This too feels like a gift from the mermaid. Yeah, you like being hurt by the mermaid? You do not want to spurn it. Even pain can be a precious thing when dealt by one whom you care for. That's a good line. I want to steal that. You never knew that before. You hold the shell to your heart, which is beating in a regular rhythm, and look at the mermaid. Then, very softly, you thank her. It is quite all right. It seems only fair after you shared part of your world with me. I wish to share part of my world with you too. Humans cannot normally descend beneath the ocean's depths, and even if they do, they cannot remain there for very long. You are far too fragile. Fast tiger solution? What's that? Would that I could. I would bring you with me to my underwater kingdom, where we might be together. The mermaid's melodic voice trails away, suffused with something resembling melancholia? It's a big cat that's very speedy. She sighs. Then she shakes her head and smiles. But this will have to do for the present. Please take good care of that shell. Oh, that's very interesting. Yeah, that's incredibly understandable. I can definitely relate in... Look at it from time to time and think of me. That would make me very happy indeed. The days pass, following this nightly encounter with your aquatic acquaintance with an almost intolerable slowness. You endure the hours of sunlight as best as you can by going for long, bracing walks amidst the heather, foraging for berries and fruits among the hedgerows. You even, when you have mustered up enough courage, take an old fishing line uncovered in the fisherman's cottage and try your luck by the shore. Your initial attempts at angling are without success, but as the time passes, your proficiency in the art grows. Sometime after you take up your rod, you find you are able to catch the odd fish here and there, small, scrawny things mostly, but the meat goes a ways to bolstering your rudimentary diet. Making my tail wiggle. Aw, cutie. You teach yourself how to remove the scales of these saltwater fish that you have captured and how to gut them. You learn, too, how to cook them over a simple fire. Sometimes you skewer these fish of yours on spikes and roast them slowly, innards and all. You are able to sustain yourself well enough during the day, though the faint pangs of hunger you experience never quite go away. Your physical discomfort, however, is secondary when compared to your desire to visit the mermaid. When you love a girl so much, you stop taking care of yourself. Your days might be dull and drab, but your nights, comparatively, are made of magic. Aww. I love how intimate this all feels. It is only during the night that the mermaid emerges from beneath the waves, and when she does, you hurry to her side. You have never before had anybody who took so great an interest in you, not until you met the mermaid. That is why she has grown to mean so very much to you. She is the first friend you have ever had. But if you do not temper your obsession accordingly, I fear she may very well be your last. You care little for the potential danger, however, which lurks beneath your interactions with the mermaid. You want only to show the mermaid how much that you value her. And you hope, within time, that she will come to value you too. If you keep seeing her, surely she will stop thinking of her human friend whom she lost so suddenly. That is your plan, at least. Fortunately, your self-serving wish to grow closer to the mermaid seems close to being granted. Your nightly conversations when you greet her come easily enough, the words tumbling from your mouth like thread. You have grown rather comfortable in the mermaid's company, and she, yours. We'll save. It's been a while. She must have, for it is not long after you bequeathed your diadem of flowers to the mermaid that she looks at you, then posits a curious question. I was wondering, dear one, whether you would mind indulging me. I know this might not seem like an appealing proposition, but I thought it would be remiss for me not to ask. I have seen some of your world, for I have sat on the shore for many, many nights hence, but you have seen nothing of mine. It seems unfair that I should know some of the world that you inhabit, while you know so little of my own. So, okay, yeah, we're definitely gonna get drowned. So, would you care to come with me beneath the ocean waves? There is much that I wish to show you, sights that cannot, I fear, be accurately represented in language alone. Words can be awfully stifling when it comes to the communication and experiences such as this. Pathetic MCs. Yeah. It is quite the florid speech, but at the heart of it beats a simple enough request. The mermaid wishes to bring you beneath the ocean's surface so that she might show you her home. You are flattered, initially, that the mermaid wishes to show you something so personal. I'm pathetically gay. Same. But after this flutter of flattery, there comes an uncomfortable sense of unease. The mermaid might feel at home beneath the water's surface, but what of you? You are a human girl with two awkward, ungainly legs, and you are not made to live under the sea. You frown, and mistrustfully you look at the ocean. It is late at night, as it always is when you speak to the mermaid, and the water does not look blue. It appears, instead, to be obsidian. The waves moan as they break against the rocks, which jut out of the shore like a mighty dragon's bones. They sound angry, violent almost. Salty sea spray arcs through the air. Caught in the moonlight, it shimmers, sharp as knives. Hesitantly, you take a step back. You are a little afraid of the sea. It is so restless, so deep, and so all-consuming. It reminds you of a hungry monster. You have never submerged yourself beneath the ocean before. You've never had the opportunity. You do not even know how to swim. You are fearful of your own safety, should you consent to dive beneath the undulating meniscus of the water, but the ocean is also Yuri. Do not look so frightened, dear one. I will be with you, and I will not let you go. You have my word. Shyly, you glance at the mermaid. She is still perched upon her rock, her hands folded neatly upon herself, or upon her. Well, she does not have a lap. Not really. Drown for the gay. Drown for the gay. You are still afraid, but the mermaid's reassurance does help. Has she not told you numerous times that she is nothing if not honest? You trust her not to break her word. She will not leave you beneath the waves, abandoning you to a cruel, lonely fate to become the food of so many fish. Of that, you are certain. That is why, despite all of your misgivings, you find yourself nodding your head. If that is what she wants, then you will accompany her. You are interested, too, in what lies beneath the ocean's surface, out of sight. Oh, I knew that you would agree. Thank you very much for humoring me. You sound sleepy. I am sleepy. To be fair, I'm always sleepy. I will endeavor to make these next few moments the most memorable you will have ever experienced. Yeah, we're totally done for. It's over. Sleepy bun, I am. Now, would you care to come with me? I shall be your guide. The ocean's depths might be dark, but I will not let you get away from me. I promise. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, our protagonist is not paying attention, but I really cannot blame her. Some of you would fall for this. I would fall for this. Some of you would know exactly what she is saying and still fall for this. I'm a simple bun, I'm sorry. You're fine. You're not doing anything wrong. You're a good bun. The mermaid extends her hands toward you, a hand which seems to cut through the moonlight, just like a blade. The moon's celestial rays play against the mermaid's upturned palm so that it shimmers. The mermaid's hair, too, is glowing, backlit by Selen's glow? What's Selen's glow? It's capitalized, which makes me think it's like a phenomenon or something. Oh, the Greek goddess of the moon. I did not know that. That's really cool. So that she almost looks like an angel. Her beauty is such that for a few moments you cannot do anything, neither step towards her nor back away. You feel frozen in place, rooted into the sand, like some shore-growing tree. You still do not understand why the mermaid has taken such an interest in you, but an old adage does occur to you. You ought not to look a gift horse in the mouth, or ignore the pleas of a graceful, dignified mermaid. You reach out, your arm shaking like the skinny bough of an ancient tree, and find the mermaid's hand with your own. The mermaid's fingers curl about your own, her nails, only now you notice how sharp they are, digging into your skin. Though the mermaid herself looks very soft, her grip is surprisingly strong. Oh, it said like bow? Bow bow! You do not think, if she willed it, you would be able to get away from her. You would not. But why would you want to? She does not mean you any harm. She never said that. Now, let us be on our way. There is so much to see in my underwater kingdom. I could not wait to show it to you. The mermaid turns towards the ocean, as do you. See, this is what happens when you don't set up a safe word. Although I guess we'll be underwater, so you can't really say words. A safe gesture, I suppose. A brief moment passes, wondering what you allow yourself to stand there, your hand claimed by the mermaids, as the wind buffets your hair and your skirts. You inhale deeply. The smell of the salt is heavy in the back of your nostrils, so much so that you could choke on it. It is not a particularly pleasant smell, but you have grown accustomed to it as after living in the tumbled-down cottage by the shore. It is nostalgic, almost. You have a vague feeling as you stand on the precipice between your world and that of the aquatic companions that you might never again be able to smell the salt in the air like this. That is just a silly supposition, though. You are being foolish. The mermaid will return you back to the surface in due course, will she not? Yeah, keep huffing that copium. You hope that she will. You, unlike her, cannot breathe underwater. You open your mouth, meaning to ask the mermaid about this fact, but you are not afforded the opportunity to speak. The mermaid has already shifted, her fingers still twined about yours. She dives forward, her body slicing through the surface of the water like a knife, and you, inexorably, are dragged along with her. The water rushes forward to meet you in a sudden, shocking rush. The mermaid's descent might be graceful, but yours is anything but. You do not know how to position your legs, and your limbs feel awfully ungainly. The shock of the water as it touches your skin, meanwhile, is intense. Are you really wearing your full outfit while doing this? Yuki, thank you for the hydrate. I love you. Did you win Fortnite? Have a good rest of your night. You too. I hope you rest well. You do not think that the water would be this cold. No, it is not just cold, it is freezing. It feels as though all the warmth has been sapped out of your skin. If your head was not already beneath the ocean's waves, you would gasp from it. You do not gasp, however. You cannot. You have already been submerged. Your body no longer feels as though it is its own. Your hair is unspooling behind you like thread, and your skirt is fluttering. Your body rocks to and fro as though being soothed in a mother's arms. It is a curious feeling, but it is not wholly unpleasant. If only it were not so cold down here, beneath the ocean's depths, you might find it relaxing. It is dark under the surface of the water, yes, but you have not ventured so very far, not yet, at least, that the glow of the moon cannot penetrate its depths. Your surroundings are illuminated, though faintly, and thanks to this precious illumination, you can see the schools of fish swimming about you. Fishies! Wait, this is literally an aquarium date. We're going on the Yuri aquarium date. Sakana. Their scales all glisten as they arc through the waves like rainbows. They do not look like life forms. They appear, instead, to your fairy tale addled mind to be ancient relics brought to life through some strange arcane sorcery. They are pretty. No, that word is not significant enough. They are beautiful. You did not know, as you stood upon the shore, how very full of life it was beneath the water's surface. Oh, I see. I didn't realize that now the image has little fishies in it. You did not know, either, how very beautiful these aquatic denizens of the deep were. You're beautiful. Oh, you're too sweet. You have never seen fish like these before, not in real life. You have memories, vague, hazy memories of dissecting a fish once in a particularly gruesome biology lesson. But that feels like a very long time ago now. Aww. I may be sweet, but I'm also gay. You would far rather think on your present than dwell upon your past. But the seconds pass. I love the way the music's getting kind of muffled. And as they do, the mermaid continues to swim, leading you deeper and deeper into the ocean's depths. While once you were close enough to the surface that the moon's light could still slice through the waves, now it is very dark. It is so very dark you can scarcely see. Your vision is beginning to blur. You can feel an uncomfortable pressure weighing down on your inert body. You have descended, you realize, with a ripple of anxiety, too deep. Humans were not meant to descend into these depths. The water, once cold, now feels freezing. It caresses every inch of your exposed flesh as if to sap what little warmth you might still possess. You shiver, and when you do, you swear that you can hear your teeth chattering, despite the water which stops your ears. The water is stopping up your nostrils. There's so much water down here, at the bottom of the ocean. It is endless. The mermaid might not be able to breathe underwater, but you are not so very fortunate. Your body is far less sophisticated than hers, and it requires oxygen with which to furnish your body with continued strength, not salt water. I mean, technically, I'm pretty sure fish need oxygen too, it's just that they're able to get it from the water. The thought of trying to inhale the endless water which surrounds you makes you shudder. You would rather not attempt it. You do not have gills. When will the mermaid take you back to the surface? Surely, she must know that you have fast begun to near your limit. You've been under the water for too long, and it is too cold, and it is so dark now. In any event, you cannot see much of anything. The joy you once felt during your underwater adventure has begun to dissipate, just like the last of the oxygen you still possess. It is time to return to the surface now, but how are you going to communicate this to the mermaid? You cannot speak, and she is not looking at you. I don't know, tap her, squeeze her hand? Think. I guess it's probably hard to think when you're suffering from oxygen deprivation. She is staring, instead, fixedly, at something beyond your comprehension, something far away, perhaps in the underwater gloom that you cannot see. Not knowing what else to do, you try to pull your arm free from the mermaid's grasp. You hope that this will signal to her that she has grown too carried away in her endeavors, that she ought to cut short your expedition and return to the shore. The mermaid does not react, however, to your attempt to escape her. Her grip does not slacken, as you had hoped, from about your wrists. In fact, it is quite the opposite. It feels as though she is gripping you more tightly than she was, as if to prevent your escape. But why would she do that? You tap on the mermaid's shoulder to get her attention, a gesture which prompts her, at long last, to turn. Her fair hair billows about her, suspended in the water like a shroud. Then she says, in that calm, measured, incredibly reasonable voice of hers, "Yes, dear one, what is it?" If you could, you would open your mouth to reply to her, but alas, you are a human girl, not a fish, and you cannot speak underwater. Then point upwards! It's so simple! Have you never tried to communicate without using words? I do it all the time because there are times where I go nonverbal and I don't want to say words. This MC needs some charades practice, apparently. Any attempt to do so would accomplish naught save filling your pretty little mouth with water. Being autistic could have saved her. The mermaid really ought to have considered that before she started to ask you questions, but your comfort seems to be the last thing on the mermaid's mind. She smiles at you gently, delicately, then says, "I understand. Being underwater for so long must be beginning to take its toll. Do your lungs feel like iron? Are they heavy?" So she does understand your woes. You might not be able to speak, suspended as you are in the dark, murky depths, but communication is not wholly impossible. You nod your head emphatically, hoping that this will be enough to make your distress apparent, but... Yes, that will happen. It is a natural part, or so I have heard, of drowning. Not that you have ever had the opportunity to experience it. Not that I have ever had the opportunity to experience it for myself. I am incapable, you see, of meeting my demise in such a manner. Now, what was that? What could she mean? I mean, the mermaid answers, can she read minds? That this was a calculated act upon my part. Yeah. And just make out with her for oxygen? Oh my god, you're a genius! Forgive me, dear one, but the moment you consented to sinking beneath the water with me, your fate was sealed. Your lungs will be flooded with water soon enough, and then you will die. It is not a pretty way to go. You needn't worry about your corpse bloating, disfigured, or being eaten by fish, though. I will take very good care of it, I promise. In death, you will look lovely, almost angelic. Is that not what you always wanted? You do not know what the mermaid thinks it is, exactly, that you want, but you think she is laboring under some severe misunderstandings. You would like to try and correct her. You do not want to die, but of course you could not open your mouth. What a pity. Well, at least it saves me the effort of transcribing your dying pleas. Thank you, narrator. Honestly, the narrator is kind of my favorite character. I doubt they would be particularly interesting. If you want to know why I'm doing this, then I would not mind obliging. I have no secrets to keep from you. Other than the secret, perhaps, that upon your first meeting, she nursed within her cold fish heart the desire to bring about your watery murder? They're very opinionated. You might have liked to know that before you agreed to sink beneath the ocean's surface with her. I am only doing this because I have no choice. The other girl I liked after all, the one whom I adored, disappeared. She went away, and I was never again afforded the opportunity to see her. You reminded me of that girl, though you do not look much alike. You do not act very alike either. But you are both humans who, despite your delicacies, have no shortage of determination. How your kind is able to live when your lifespans are so very short and you are susceptible to so very many diseases is a mystery to me. Though my lifespan far eclipses your own, and I am far sturdier, I cannot help but marvel at the tenacity of you humans. I know that if I were as fragile as you are, I would not be able to exist in this world. I would be far too afraid. I would see my own death lurking behind every corner, just as you can see your own death looming before you. It is not so very far away now. You can feel it coming closer and closer, enclosing its cold, icy fingers around your throat. You humans are incredible. I cannot help but respect you, weak and pitiful though you are. I am weak and pitiful. She respects your tenacity so very much she wishes to extinguish it? That does not make very much sense. Perhaps my words are confusing you, but it makes perfect sense to me at least. My beloved coward left me. I do not know where she went or what happened to her. Perhaps she was murdered by bandits, perhaps she contracted a horrible disease, perhaps she simply fell and cracked her skull. I do not know. I will never know. For many, many days and many, many nights, her disappearance tormented me. I could not help but wonder how it came about, but there were so many possibilities I could not imagine all of them. She could have just asked you to look into it. Yeah, I mean, she could have. This thought terrified me. It still does. That is why I'm going to take you to my underwater kingdom with me. There, we can be together forever. Nothing will ever be able to tear us apart then. Romantic. I will brush your hair, and I will dress you in the finest pearls found from the bottom of the seabed. It will be lovely, much, much lovelier than any sort of miserable existence you might be able to eke out above the water. In my citadel, you will never be attacked by bandits, nor ravaged by diseases. You will be quite safe, I promise. Quite safe, yes, and quite dead too, surely. Well, yes, that is the only unfortunate aspect of my plan. She considers your death nothing more than a mere misfortune? The mermaid might be surprisingly cold after all. But perhaps you ought to have predicted this. She is part fish. Are fish not cold-blooded, like lizards? You probably learned this at some point during biology class, but your lessons are beginning to feel very faint and far away now. Your body is beginning to fail you. You cannot take much more of this. It is a necessary sacrifice, though. If we are to be happy, I am doing this, for both of our sakes. How advanced is science in this setting exactly? Good question. Who knows? I do apologize for tricking you, but please try to understand. I really have been lonely. You would be more inclined to sympathize with her, perhaps, if her loneliness was not ushering in your inevitable demise. But you are too preoccupied with your dwindling reserves of oxygen to feel much in the way of anything for your captor. You can feel the pressure of the water against your eyes. They are beginning to ache. Perhaps you are crying. You do not know. The water masks much of your anguish. You have been drifting underwater for almost 3 minutes. That is a remarkably long time to go without any air. Your vision is beginning to cloud. Your surroundings, already dark, look darker, still unpleasant and obscure, and not at all like the paradise the mermaid promised you. The pain of being suffocated slowly is far stronger and far more oppressive than the sensation of the mermaid's hand wound tightly about your arm. Is there no escape for you? The prognosis, I am sorry to say, is grim. Your fate, as the mermaid said, really was sealed the moment you met her, luxuriating, I'm so bad with words. Luxuriating on those rocks beneath the moonlight. But you'll forgive me if my sympathy is limited. Limited? I think the mermaid did say that she believes the cow herd disappeared. She wasn't 100% sure, but she said it felt like seasons, like several seasons. So, but yeah, I don't know. You did bring this upon yourself, you know. You reap what you sow. And in your case, you made a series of bad decisions which led to your untimely demise. Now, what do you want to do? Will you accept this fate of yours and rest in peace? Or will you try to fight against it? Well, obviously we're gonna accept it. That is a bit of an anticlimactic answer at this juncture in your life story, but I suppose it would be remiss of me to lecture you too much. I am sure that you are well aware of what a terrible series of decisions you have made. There is no need for me to bellabore? I think we are, pun intended, in a little deep. Bellabore the point. That would be boorish, not to mention tedious. Belabor. Oh, I've never seen that word spelled before. I am rather tired of scolding you. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was that bad of a girl. So instead, I think I will content myself with loving you. Aww. What? You thought in your death the mermaid was the only one who would be able to cosette you? Cosette? Care for and protect in an overindulgent way. Aww. Wait, is the narrator falling for me too now? I know I have said this before, but you really are naive. You cannot escape me, even if you are at the bottom of the deepest, darkest ocean. The world might have forsaken you, but I never will. To treat as a pet? Bark, bark. Okay, I kind of really like the narrator being a bit possessive here. Thank you for the head pat, Cybernetic. Hi, Princess Lily. Or are you going by Pup now, I think? I will never leave you. Aww. You will never be lonely again. That's so romantic. So, my theory is that the game starts with us running away from a girl. Or, well, running away from something that's chasing us before we get to that fork in the road, right? I bet that something that's chasing us is the narrator. And she is, or I would assume she is forcing us to go through these like torturous scenarios so that we have to realize that she's the only, like, the only one. I'm also expecting that, and I really hope that's what happens. Okay, let's fight against our fate this time. Also, I love the little fishies. Look at them. Look at them. Fishies are so cute. It's just a really long session of one-on-one D&D. So you should be my pet. I like that look on your face. It is a look full of determination. The self-same determination with which first prompted me to take an interest in you. I can tell that you are not happy with this ending. You did not come all of this way, after all, to drown. That is quite the indecorous demise regardless of how many fine stones and shells the mermaid means to twine through your hair after your death. If you wish to carve out a new story for yourself, then I would be only too happy to indulge you. Just try not to get on my bad side. Oh, try not to get on the bad side. Or, good side of any homicidal naiads this time. Okay, but I really love that idea, a version of a one-on-one D&D session that is basically just like the DM like, okay, I'm gonna take you through a bunch of toxic Yuri scenarios. That sounds like really really cute. Or cute isn't the right word, but intimate? Like, I have done something similar, but not in like a table RPG setting. More just like a role-playing different scenarios kind of thing. Yo, want to flirt, but within the context of one-on-one D&D session? What's a naiad? A water nymph said to inhabit a river. Oh. Bark, bark, woof, woof. Bark, bark, woof, woof. So is a naiad like a dryad, but of the water? The barks heal your soul. Aww. The drowning of fair maidens is something of a cliche. Your fate is once again in your hands. Now I wonder, which path will you take? Go to the castle is the only choice. Okay. Here's the deal. I get so OCD about this stuff. I wish I could rearrange the order that my saves are in. Like, I wish I could have this one here and move this one on top here, move this one down, and then move this one down here. Okay. So, I'm kind of tired and my throat kind of hurts. I think it might be a good stopping place here. Especially because that'll give us plenty of time next stream to really take our time and I don't know very much about this game from before I started playing it. However, if the castle situation is the one I think it's gonna be, it's probably gonna be my favorite route out of all of them. So I'm I'm very excited for that one. I bet you'll be very normal about it. Yes, very, very normal. This is that game? I like the music in this game a lot. Anyway, I love you all. Let's find somebody to raid. I thought that was a separate game. So you might be thinking, Nevi, you might be thinking of Slay the Princess. Which is a different thing. But they both involve... No? Yeah, the cannibalism. Or I mean, oh, there's cannibalism. Wow, that's whoa. Okay. I'm going to raid somebody. Before I raid this person, please understand that the past is the past, and I'm trying to move forward. Anyway, I'm going to send us over. Everyone, please be very nice. Sorry, I'm kind of brain broken right now, but I love you all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope you all have a good night. And I'll see you tomorrow night for more Fate. I'm excited to continue with Fate. I'll probably be higher energy for that stream, hopefully. Anyway, I love you all. Bye bye.
Just really appreciate the